like you said, I guess everybody has to be feeling a little better now.
Yeah, it definitely winning breeds confidence, gives you excitement to pep in your step, excitement for your hard work showing up, and we've been grinding, we've been working hard. Doesn't guarantee you're going to get a win, but definitely feel like our team's a better team through going through the adversity, and hopefully the rest of the season we can continue to learn from that losing streak of things that we can have happen if we want to win.
Yeah, I remember you said on the radio afterwards that you saw some defensive improvement, some things you've been wanting to see.
Yeah, each and every game, you hopefully are better than your last game, and the opponents are the same way, though, so sometimes you don't always see it. But we're controlling what we can control better. I think we're sprinting back, not giving up as many gaps and easy buckets in transition. We're taking better care of the basketball. We're doing a better job making things tougher for people on the defensive end. Still, they're going to score. You just want it to be more contested shots and not open shots, and not as many mental mistakes and breakdowns.
You pulled out the zone a little bit too. Is that something you might use a little more now?
Well, whatever it takes. So I think, again, a coach's job is always to adjust to their personnel, and sometimes you don't know what you need to adjust to until you get in the fire. And definitely baseball pitchers got to have more than one pitch. And I know with us, the zone's been good in the past. If we use it each and every game, it'll be different. But definitely everything's on the table to try to help us get stops so we can get in transition, and we can have an opportunity to get some easy buckets. Because in the Big 12, there are very few teams that allow you to score easily in the half court. So whenever you can get an easy one, you got to take it.
Coach, you got the one win that you got.
We got one win, yeah.
Now, how do you make it
two, yeah.
4 and all that?
Well, I think it's the same recipe to end a losing streak to keep a winning streak, and that's one game at a time. It's one practice at a time. It's one prep at a time. You can't skip steps, and if you do, then you're not giving yourselves a chance to be successful.
In terms of Jalen, obviously we talked about his return back and getting a double-double, but it's now kind of a couple games in a row he's put together a good performance, at least from the offensive end. Has there been a moment or something that happened that you kind of saw him maybe make a turn and swing in that?
Well, he struggled from his three-point shooting especially, and that's been something that he's worked harder on. So give him credit. The staff's worked with him extra on, but he's always made shots in practice. So it's never been a situation where it's a guy that can't make a bucket, and now you expect him to not make a bucket. He makes them in practice. You expect him to make them in a game, and sometimes shooters go through some slumps, and shooting can be real mental, and he's done a great job spending extra time in the gym to build that confidence. His teammates done a great job encouraging him with that confidence, and West Virginia was great. The toughness plays he made. He got us a couple key loose balls, 5 offensive rebounds. His effort was tremendous.
Coach, what has the energy been like after a win? Obviously, when you're losing, it's different energy, but what has it been like?
Well, when you get back at 3 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning, the energy's not great the next morning, but by the afternoon, everybody's feeling a lot better, and it's just winning. It's like going to work and never getting a paycheck. I mean, the wins get you the paycheck, meaning you put in that time and that effort, and that's how it shows up. Like, hey, we are working hard. You see, we won the game. So everything you do is a little more upbeat. And then if you're a good team, you're even more focused because you really like the winning and you want that to continue. So practices don't slide. Attention to detail doesn't slide. You stay more locked in, more focused because you enjoy that winning feeling.
So it's just the backcourt and Avery Anderson, Bryce Thompson that gave you guys a little issue here last season. What makes them so tough, especially to guard?
Well, I think first they have experience. Second, lot of talent and athleticism. Bryce McDonald's All-American, and Avery's had a great career there, and a senior that's done it for 3 years. This is his 4th year. So 6th best defense in the country out of 353 teams. So nothing is easy. You have to really work to score against them. One of the best shot blocking teams in the nation, I think 3rd best shot blocking percentage. So athletic team. Coach Boynton does a great job with his team, always getting them to play hard, compete, mixing up things. And it's a team like everyone in the Big 12. You change 1 or 2 possessions, and now you're 3-0 or 3-1 or 4-0. Everybody's had so many close games, starting with them at Kansas.
Coach, when you're facing such a kind of spread out, even attack, they think they've got 6 guys at like 8 points per game or so. How different is that from facing a team like maybe TCU with a really good guy who drives the offense?
Well, I think both can pose problems, but the beauty of a shared scoring effort is if one player does not play, you can recover easier, and they have a balanced scoring attack, and that means all of them are capable of big nights. You got to be focused on all of them, and if one of them doesn't play, it doesn't mean the game's lost. So every coach would prefer a balanced team if they could have it.
Coach, this is just more of curiosity, but you mentioned your post-game presser, just in terms of Keontae, he takes good shots, he usually makes them. But with more and more guys who seem to be able to make just incredible shots game after game, for you, has the idea of what is a quote-unquote good shot changed over the years, or is it usually kind of the same?
Well, I think the better the shooter or the scorer, the tougher the looks normally are because the defense is key on them. But I think it always remains the same. The better the look, the higher the percentage you're going to make it. And especially if you can get good looks early on, then you get your confidence going. It's easier to make a tough one. If you're 0 for whatever, and then you take a tough one, you got no chance usually. So if you're doing a good job coaching, your players know shot selection. If you're doing a good job coaching, you're getting your players good shots. And if you have good upperclassmen leadership, they're making sure the team's listening and taking good shots, and it all works hand in hand. And defensively, if you can get some stops or turnovers and get in transition, get some easy buckets, that really opens it up, especially in the Big 12 where each basket is so hard to get.
Scott, I know Moose has been out a little bit, but when he's in there, what kind of problems does he present?
Defensive Player of the Year a year ago, and whenever you're Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12, it means you're elite. And he's an elite shot blocker, rim protector, finisher. So he's active. He gets steals. So he's somebody that just makes it why their defense is 6th in the nation. It's so tough to score in the paint and at the rim.
For Keontae specifically, he's been impressive all year, but for him to have a game like that in a true road game, just what does that mean moving forward?
Well, I think first it means the team did a great job getting him high percentage shots. He did a good job getting open for those and making them. And I think if you have a good team, people are going to have different nights. It's not always going to be one person's night, and you got to have a team that sacrifices for each other. So when someone is going, you're not trying to get yourself going, but you're trying to get the guy who's going more shots, and that comes with a discipline and an understanding of the game as well. And I think it was a selfless effort by the team, and we found the hot shooter at the time, and Keontae did a great job getting to the rim. He can put a lot of pressure on the defense, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, and that makes him a lot tougher to guard when he does that.
And then kind of in a different light, Linda Livingston spoke yesterday at the NCAA convention. How beneficial is it for someone in your backyard to be vouching for college sports?
Just 5 minutes before I came down here, Coach Few from Gonzaga called me and said, "Man, she was amazing. You're so blessed to have her as a president." And I know she does a great job. All of us that work with her know what a great job she does. And we're really blessed to work for the best president and AD in the country, in my opinion.
Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, Langston, how's it feel? Is there a little better feeling now that y'all got a win under your belt in the Big 12?
You know, it's always good to get a win, but getting the first win in the Big 12, we just look to keep it going, you know, just give us some momentum going into our next game.
As far as Oklahoma State, what do you see from them?
They're a very good team, very good defensively. They do a lot of things well, and we do a lot of things well, so it's going to be a great game on Saturday.
Caleb, I guess for you, where do you think how your development has gone so far, just in terms of fitting into this team and kind of carving out a role for yourself?
I think it's going well. Of course, just being patient and just making the most of every opportunity to help the team where I can. Staying ready, staying active, and most of all, just encouraging each and every one of these guys to be their best. So, looking forward to trying to get this win at home, first win in the 12, and we'll move on from there.
As a guy who you came in with from a transfer perspective, how cool was it to see Jalen go on the road in a place where I think they booed him every time he was within 5 feet of the ball and have the kind of performance that he did?
It was awesome. I think even from walking out there, right when we walked out, it was the moment he stepped foot on the court, everyone in that gym was just on him. So to see him be able to go through that, have the game that he did, I was so happy for him. And I know each and every one of our teammates, too, was the same way. So definitely a good moment for him.
Caleb, do you feel like you guys made some strides defensively the other night?
Yeah, I do. And I also think just defensively.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just think defensively making those strides and also seeing us get a win while playing like that is just good for our team. Because I think the more confidence and the more energy we can have on defense, the better we can be.
How do you take that now, one win in the Big 12, and make it 2, 3, 4?
I think just continuing to practice like we've been and focusing on the right things. And I think we have such a talented team that at the end of the day, if we're doing everything we need to do and we're kind of asserting ourselves on the court the way we should, I mean, I don't see why we could win every single Big 12 game from here on out.
Thanks, Langston. I guess you watched from afar last year, just kind of what Big 12 play is like. But going through it through 4 games, what's something that like you realize being on the court in the Big 12 versus off of it, like, oh, this is maybe a little different?
You know, from just the physicality standpoint, you know, Big 12 is very physical, and going night in and night out, like every team can beat any team can beat anyone. So whether they have the worst record or the best record, it's always going to be a good game in the Big 12, and that's just one of the things that you just love about the Big 12 just as a competitor and as a person. You know, that's what you want to see.
Langston, their defense is number 6 in the country, so obviously it makes it tough on the offense. But does it put a little pressure on the defense too to kind of step up? Because their defense is so good, you kind of got to match it.
I wouldn't say we have any pressure really. I would just say we just got to go and just play the game and just see where the chips fall. We're just going to keep doing the same things and just hope for the best outcome.
Langston, when Keontae's having one of those games offensively where it doesn't seem like he just makes every single shot on the floor, you could just kind of sit there and be like, whoa. Like, there's some shots where you're just like, I can't believe he hit that.
Well, I usually don't be like, whoa, because I just seen him put in the work, so I feel like those shots should go in. Anytime he shoots it, I feel like it should go in because he's put in all the work and prepared himself well for those moments.
And then from your guys' perspective, you know, you've been in some tight games in Big 12 play, weren't able to close it out. You guys were this time. What was that marginal maybe difference in the last couple minutes that allowed you guys to come out with a win?
I don't know. I would just say in one possession games it can go either way, and this time the odds were just in our favor. So I feel like we just closed out that game really well.
Has it been tough for either of y'all? Has it been tough to stay mentally there, like with all the one possession games, and be like, man, they're just not falling our way, they'll start falling our way? Or has it been a little, I don't know, tougher to stay positive?
Losing, I think nobody likes to lose. And like Will Langston said, a competitor never likes to lose. And so I think just taking those losses and really learning from what we could, watching the film, figuring out how we can execute even better at the end of those games, I think it's going to continue to help us because, I mean, like you said, every single game in the Big 12 is going to be a challenge no matter the team. And so the better we can get at executing kind of in the last few minutes of the game and trying our best to not make the game a one-possession game, the better we'll be.
Caleb, I'm curious, as a guy who has played a lot of college basketball, but hasn't necessarily played in the Big 12, when you come into a new conference, when you scout each team, do you, even if they're not exactly the same, do you think back, okay, this is kind of like this team that we played in the WCC and that's how I can kind of approach it, or do you kind of treat it as completely blank slates in that regard?
I think for the Big 12, just because of how competitive the Big 12 is, it's honestly been a completely new thing. Just the style of play, the physicality, it's just different. So I think just taking each individual game, the scout, the film, and really, going one day at a time, it's been the best thing for us.
Anything else?
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.